So Jay,
I know.
Gervonta Tank Davis is going back and forth with our guy
Conor Benn.
Conor Benn. Yeah, I lost his name just that fast. Conor Benn. So Conor Benn. So they're going back and forth. You know, basically Tank is critical of Conor Benn and his performance yesterday versus Dobson, and you know, of course, Conor Benn is going to respond to that. And it's not just Gervonta Davis who's critical of his performance, but it's also Errol Spence who has been critical of the performance.
Everybody.
And so Gervonta Davis mentioned that if you give him just a week, Jay, 3 weeks and a weekend in the Turks, I think is what he said, that he'd go in there and basically tax that ass as it relates to Conor Benn. And Jay, I'm going to go ahead and give my opinion on this, and I know that this is not going to be an opinion that's very popular amongst the people that support this channel. I don't like this at all. I don't like Gervonta Davis talking about fighting Conor Benn. Why would Conor Benn be a good fight for Gervonta Davis?
You wouldn't.
We saw Conor Benn yesterday, Jay. We saw Conor Benn rehydrate all the way up to 170 pounds. And Gervonta Davis is saying, hey, just give me 3 weeks against him and a weekend in the Turks, and I'll go over there and tax him. And, of course, he's responding saying that, hey, Eddie sent him a DM so that they can possibly make the fight. Gervonta Davis is saying, I'll be waiting for it. So that feels like he is being serious. Dog. And this is where I go here, and this is why I think my opinion is about to change. Originally, I said, hey, rehydration clause is fair because, he rehydrates all the way up to 165 pounds, that being Devin Haney, or he being Devin Haney, who rehydrates up to so much. Jay, there should not be a rehydration clause, and it should be at 140 if they make the fight. Because if you're willing to fight Conor Benn, who rehydrated to 170, then you need to be willing to fight Devin Haney and allow him to rehydrate up to 165, which Tank has not said that he wouldn't allow for that to happen, right? But I was of the mindset, this is strictly speaking for myself, I was of the mindset it should be a rehydration clause. That's out the window now. And not only that, but a willingness to fight Conor Benn, then go ahead and fight Devin, dog. That's the fight that's going to get away from you sooner rather than later, because Devin's probably going to go up to 47 eventually and won't be able to make 40 anymore. So if we're saying this, if Tank is willing to scratch all that, I'm not feeling Conor Benn whatsoever. That has to go out the window, bruh. Your focus then needs to be on Devin Haney. Period. End of story. Like, if you're willing to fight him, then, man, forget all that. Call Devin or call Al, call Leonard, and have them reach out directly to Devin Haney's team and make that fight. That fight is going to be bigger. Tank is going to get the money that's going, unless Devin is not willing to take a cut that would make sense for Tank. Outside of that, you should be initiating negotiations with that guy trying to make that fight. At least make the effort so that we can see that that's what you're trying to do. That's my opinion, Jay. I know a lot of people are not going to like that opinion, but that's my opinion. What's your thought?
Well, they're going to be surprised because everyone knows, especially Jerry, your favorite lender for life, swears I don't hold Tank feet to the fire. When I first saw this, when I sent it to you, I sent it to you. I didn't like it. I still don't like it. For one, Conor Benn brings no value to Tank. There's no reason for him to be calling out, unless Tank is just clowning. I hope he's just clowning, like when he was talking about he'll knock Bud out in 5 rounds or 6 rounds, whatever. I'm hoping. But the fact that he kept going back and forth with it, with Conor Benn, I don't like it at all. Ben brings nothing to the table for him. Ben didn't look great yesterday, for one. 2, he's at 147. 3, Tank has several fighters in line ahead of Ben to get a fight with. Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Frank Martin. Hell, you can go to 140. Teal, Matias. I mean, the list goes on and on and on that bring better value to Tank than a Conor Benn. Also, to your point about the whole rehydration, he rehydrated to 170.8. We were watching the fight yesterday, and we're in our Discord. If y'all haven't hit us up on the Discord. And we're talking about it, and we said, man, he rehydrated at 170.8. He outdid Devin, and you're willing to fight this guy here, but not Devin. So to your point, it shouldn't be a rehydrated clause with a Devin fight now, especially if you're willing to fight this dude, unless you're trying to say he's going to need a rehydration clause again, which is not going to make sense because you're the one that's jumping up 2 weight classes to fight this dude up there. So it wouldn't make sense. I don't like the way it looks. It looks bad. If he doesn't go back and fight a Devin, a Tio, a Matias, even a Shakur, who's at 135 with no rehydration clause, it's going to be a problem. It's going to look this bad optics for him. He has nowhere to go, but now he has to fight a Devin with no rehydration clause, a Tio at 140, no rehydration clause, all those guys. He controls the shot, so he needs to go ahead and make the call, but you can't be calling out a Conor Benn. Conor Benn didn't even mention his name after the fight. Conor Benn tweeted, he said, Haney, Eubanks Jr., Spence, Brook, and Barrios. So there's no reason for Tank to all of a sudden insert himself in this. Conor Benn is not a big name. If Conor Benn was a big name and you're trying to get that money and I want the next so I can get a bigger paycheck with this guy, that's cool. That's not the case with Conor Benn. Conor Benn hasn't looked good in forever. Hasn't had a knockout on him forever as well. So I mean, I don't like it. Everyone knows I'm a big Tank fan. I can't support this type of stuff here. I'm not one to support stuff like this. Never have, never will be. So let it be known, Jason is not one that's supporting a Tank following or messing with a Conor Benn fight. If he fights Conor Benn next, I'm not going to be happy with that at all. Can't support that type of stuff with that. Not at all.
No, I agree. The only thing that I could chalk it up to is just Tank just talking shit. And I would have said that, if he just said, one or two things and just wrapped it up there. But, whether he likes it or not, whether he was just playing or not, this is going to look like all this stuff ends up becoming news, Jay. It all ends up becoming news. Like you're going to see at some point today, Fight Hype put together one of their reels with music playing behind it, saying something to the effect of, they're agreeing to the fight. And so this will be used as ammo against you in the future, or it's going to be used in a way to make you look bad versus Devin Haney, meaning, so you said this, but now you saying this with this guy, even if you didn't even actually say that. It was just things that were out there as a part of just the overall conversation. You know how this goes, Jay, because we have this channel. You can say one thing and people interpret it one way or get it from another channel or get it from somewhere else or a conversation here. And then all of a sudden they attribute all of that to something you said. So my thing is I wouldn't have even gone there. I would have just said he looked shitty and call it a day. But those are my thoughts. So, Jay, it is what it is. We'll see what he ends up doing somewhere in the future if this ends up materializing. But we know that Tank currently has some things going on that he's going to have to resolve in and of itself. So we'll see. Any other thoughts on this?
Facts. No, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in this right here because it wasn't just he was just talking shit because he kept it going. He even tagged Eddie to hit him up. I don't like the optic. I don't like this play at all. And I'm a Tank fan, but I'm also trying to be fair and balanced. I've always held his feet to the fire, and I'm still doing that. Jerry.
Yeah. All right, guys. So where do we go from here, Jay?